Hey everyone, welcome to the Here to Listen podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Durgy, and today I'm joined by TikTok trendsetter, Mr. Melk, also known as Olly Bowman. With more than 500,000 TikTok followers and close to 32 million likes, Olly continues to make people laugh with his quick-witted humor and has taken the world by storm with his dance moves, like the shoulder injury.
Head will tilt to the shoulder of the pulling. Still shaking smile goes a long way.
And now he's here with us. Please welcome to the show, Olly Bowman. Hi, Olly.
Hello, how you going?
Good.
Good
How are you
intro.
doing?
Taking the world by storm with it. Make me sound good here.
How does it feel to have your moves like under a magnifying glass by the world?
It's very funny. I think because they're just so stupid as well. Such a funny thing as well. It just took off. I didn't really expect it, but I'll take it. I'm here for the ride.
So I want to start off by asking, how would you describe your content to maybe someone who's never seen it before?
Yeah, people always ask me like what niche are you in, or like how would you describe it? I just always struggle. I usually just say I have fun and I film it. Is basically how I say. I do a few dad jokes, I dance a little bit, um, just have fun with my friends, see, and then just clip it together in whatever chaotic order that takes. I don't know, just lifestyle, just a bit of everything really.
Yeah, I love that. It's such good vibes. Do you
Yeah.
do you find that like you kind of always have to be on in a way, even when you're with your friends, or do you have your moments where like, okay, no cameras, let me just focus on the moment with my friends?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, a little bit maybe, but like I think it's a pretty good representation of me. Like online, I'm very energetic, and it's just sort of how I am. I tend to just be quite loud and like I am, I guess, online. There's definitely times when I just want to be alone in my room, watching
Yeah.
Netflix, put The Office on or something. But for the most part, it's just doing what I'd do anyway, but with the camera in front of me, I suppose.
Yeah. Have you always been like that?
Yeah, I think so. I've seen videos of myself when I was like 7 years old or like super young, and I was annoying and talkative back then, and I don't think much has changed, to be honest.
Yeah, it leads to one of my questions actually, what was your childhood like?
Yeah, so I grew up in Sydney, Australia, by the beach, surfing a lot, played basketball. Basketball was like my main thing. I did it quite seriously. Like my goal used to be to go to college in America, play over there. So I played all through school and everything. Went to normal school, and then when I was like 18, I suppose, that was when had less love for basketball. It was getting very serious and just more stressful. And then I went to uni at University of Sydney, and it was then in the first semester I was hating university, that is, and I was going to drop out. And then I heard about this exchange program where you can go abroad for a semester or a year or whatever, and for that you needed like a certain level of marks. So I was like, okay, I definitely want to do that because I just wanted to travel and leave home, experience something new, be a bit independent. So I sort of decided, okay, I'll go for an exchange somewhere in America. So it was when I went to America that sort of all my chaos, I suppose, started. So I was over there for a semester at University of Georgia, and it was just before COVID hit. So it was at the start of 2020, and there I met two of my best mates that are British, and my ex who was Norwegian. So from there, I ended up moving to Norway, and I lived in Norway for 2 years through sort of meeting her.
Yeah.
And that was just a crazy experience in itself, just like learning the language and the culture. And yeah, it was really cool, to be honest. Like, it's just like a whole little bubble. Like I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know if you can speak any other languages, but it's just I'd never even tried. It just changes. I don't know. It changes the whole way you think, really.
Well, it's interesting because that time of your life really does seem pretty wild from what
Mm,
from what I've seen and heard you talk about. Like the fact that you met your now ex and then moved to Norway, right?
mm.
You learned the language in less than a year, from what I
Yeah,
understand, and
yeah,
then you ended up getting signed to a record deal And actually, like, it's just a wild story. You got signed to a
Yeah.
record deal, released
Mm.
three, I think at least three singles that were completely in Norwegian. One went
Yeah.
top 10. Like, do you ever
Yeah.
look back and I'm like, I went to the US, ended up
Mm.
in Norway, became a Norwegian superstar singer, and now here I
Yeah.
am, like it seems
Yeah.
wild to me.
It's so funny. It's so unexpected as well. I'm a terrible singer, which just makes it so much funnier. I've never have I considered singing or anything like that. And then, so what happened was, because I'd started a TikTok in Norway, and
Okay.
my whole account was in Norwegian. Me speaking Norwegian was sort of about me learning the language and making fun of their culture, etc. And then it was about 6 months after I'd started that, and I had a pretty decent sized following for Norway. And then Sony Music Norway reached out to me, and they were like,
Wow.
we want to make a song with you. Like, would you be interested in that? And then I was like, are you sure? Like, did you want to maybe hear me sing first? Because you might change your mind. And then, yeah, we went ahead with it, and they got like a professional songwriter and producer and stuff to help sort of put it together and create it. And then I still remember when I went into the studio, I was so nervous, and I was just the most uncomfortable I think I've ever been in my life. I just went to the studio alone. There was like this famous Norwegian singer and artist that was in there with me to sort of help me record it and whatever. And then I was there, and he's like, "Okay, so you ready? You ready?" And I was like, "Fuck, we just gotta go and start like singing straight away, all right?" And then they like, and then I started singing. I was super awkward at first, and I was just kind of like, "Dear Fred," and just kind of like singing this, and then he's like, "So I want you to like pretend you're at a stadium and just like scream out as if you're cheering for a sports team." So then I was there trying to, and it was like really high, the chorus part, a bit too high
Yeah.
for like my range could reach. And then I'm there like, "Down," and my voice is cracking, and it was just such a weird experience. It's so funny. And then luckily autotune is a magical thing that can get it right. But yeah, it's a crazy thing. I had no expectations for it. And then it just took off and did really
Yeah.
well. So it was so funny.
Yeah, I saw one music video. You look like you're having such a blast and you're appearing in all these places in a Speedo. I think like a cheetah
Yeah.
print Speedo or something like that.
Yeah, they're my favorite swimmers. I thought I'd go low key for the music video. So I went for
Yeah.
some speed. But
Yeah.
yeah, that song was about the song was called in Norwegian Tanetid, which means tanning time. And I had this joke where I always talked about I loved going in the sun, and Norway's obviously very cold, so it was a bit of ironic. But yeah, I just went in speedos and went all around Norway, just filmed myself basically with a music video, which was so funny. Yeah, anything funny or stupid, it's a bit of me. So
But it really feels like you just kind of say yes to everything. Is that kind of your motto of life?
yeah, it is. I think once I graduated high school, I just made a promise to myself that if there's ever anything that would be fun to do or something I know I'd be proud of myself for doing, I'll just say yes, regardless of if I was nervous or scared of failing or embarrassment or whatever it is. I just do it and then sort of work out the rest along the way. So that's definitely something I stick by in life, and it's paid off. I think it's good. Led me to a few funny things. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So can we expect any other music soon?
Um, I mean, never say never, I guess. I got
Okay.
no plans for it right now.
Yeah.
We'll see. Who knows? Who knows what the future will bring?
Yeah. You never know. More
Never know.
music videos from Ollie.
Yeah,
Or Mr.
exactly.
Melk, I guess. It was under Mr. Melk, right?
It was, yes. Yes. That was when I
Yeah.
was, yes, in Norway, I was known as Mr. Melk. And I've just kept the username since I swapped to English. But yeah.
What's that? What does that mean?
Yeah, so the direct translation is Mr. Milk in
Okay.
English, but there's this old Norwegian ad. It was for a milk company, and it was about this character called Mr. Melk. And he was this American guy speaking Norwegian with like a big accent. And basically,
Oh.
when I first started posting videos, people would say I sounded like him when I spoke Norwegian because I've got a funny accent. And then I just sort of thought it'd be funny to call myself Mr. Melk online. and then it just sort of took off, and the name stuck. And it was just such a random time for me. I was in this country by myself. Then suddenly I was touring around a little bit, playing my
Yeah.
one set, and then crowd surfing here and there,
Oh
uh,
wow.
singing Norwegian. Yeah, it was so funny.
Wow, that's wild. You went crowd surfing?
I did. One of them that wasn't a proper crowd surf. I just got like a lift. I was in this club singing it, and then I just got lifted up randomly by all the people there. And then I was like kind of leaning back like this, and I just started like whilst I was singing, kind of wiggling my shoulders a little bit, and then they slipped from my shoulders and dropped me. I sort of like head first into the ground,
Oh
and the
no.
whole crowd just goes quiet, and then I sort of just jump back up and goes, "Te ofrendo." It just starts so funny.
Oh wow. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you. I know
Seems you're
it was a
okay.
worry, but
Do you ever like before you post content, do you ever like second guess, should I post this? Should I not? Is it gonna be a hit like my previous content, or do you just kind of let it go?
definitely yes. I think less so these days.
Okay.
Uh, More so before. There was like a period where I was kind of when I just started posting stuff in English, I was trying to work out what I was the type of videos I was posting. I was doing so much random stuff, just putting it out there, sort of seeing what stuck. And it would always be like I was deleting maybe like 80% of my videos for a while there. I
Oh
was posting
wow.
like 5 a day, just so much random stuff there because I had no clue what I was really doing. And then I would always be like, oh, maybe it's not so funny. Got like no views. Maybe I just delete it. And then I was sort of like that. These days I'm more I don't know. I'm more sort of. I know exactly the type of thing that I'm doing, even though it's completely random still.
Yeah.
But I've got more of a direction, sort of what I'm posting. So I'm more proud of it, and I'm happy with it, regardless.
Yeah, I love that. And it comes across very genuine.
Yeah, it's good.
And it's interesting the style that you create your content. A lot of it is like different clips. I feel
Mm,
like a lot of TikTok, it's like a one shot talking to the
yeah,
camera or like a one shot dance or something like that. Whereas yours is very much kind of like a vlog style, like a very like
yeah,
vlog YouTube kind of style, but in TikTok format. It's
yeah,
it's very unique. I don't see it being done a ton on the platform.
yeah. It's definitely funny. Yeah, I don't know. I just sort of I didn't even really plan it. I was in when I was still in the phase of just posting so much random stuff. There was one day, it was probably like 3 months ago now, and I was in London with my mates, and we are just sort of walking around. I can't remember. We are going through the main part of London, just having an explore. And then for some reason, I was just like, "Yeah, film this." And then I just sort of said one joke about the store, and then I just said a few more throughout the day. And then at the end, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with them. And then I just ended up chucking them together. And then I was like, oh, I'll just post this. It's funny. And then sort of became a thing from there, I suppose.
Yeah. What did your parents do for a living?
They produce sporting events. So they do event management, produce sporting events sort of around the world,
Oh
which,
wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So I've sort of traveled younger. I definitely traveled a little bit with them for work. So, but this was all before I was like 9. Before
Yeah.
9, I went to 5 different schools just
Wow.
all over. And then from 9 onwards, I sort of just stayed in the one place.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask, if being a content creator kind of runs in your blood, because I know your sister Lily, also
Mm.
she's a content creator with more than 1 million followers on
Yeah.
Instagram. And so the
Yeah.
fact that both of you are so successful online with your
Mm.
with your content, what's that like?
Yeah, it's really funny. And I think especially because our accounts are very separate and very different. So it's
Yeah.
always funny. Some people make the connection. They're like, wait a second, I follow Lily and I follow you. Are you guys siblings or something like that? It's always funny. It's very funny. I think my parents are very creative in what they do, and the way they sort of they do a lot of stuff like interacting with the audience and fan engagement and things like that with events. So they have to be very creative. So I suppose maybe the creative gene dropped off into us or something. I don't know.
I'm wondering, what would you tell your younger self?
Um, it's a good question. I think just do you just sort of be who you want to be, not worry about what others sort of thinking about you. I think a lot of people are just sort of scared of judgment or scared to really just be themselves. They want to try to be cool or try to be a certain way just because they think it's what the normal thing to do is or something like that. I think once you can sort of just be comfortable being a bit weird or just doing whatever you want, it just things get so much better. And there's such a burden gone when you don't have to worry about, I wonder if that person thinks I'm weird or something like
Yeah.
that. So I think if I could have a bit earlier, like I've always been pretty confident, but just through high school, maybe the few things could have been a bit more confident, just do whatever I wanted. I think it's quite an uplifting thing to be able to do. Just be yourself, be free to do whatever you want.
Yeah. And you feel like you're at that point now?
I do, yeah. I like obviously every now and then. Like, I'm not a robot. You still think about it, but I think I'm pretty good at just being exactly who I am always.
Yeah. I mean, that comes across, in
Yeah,
your
yeah, that's
content.
good. Yeah, it's definitely something
Yeah.
I want my followers to see. And if anyone, feels sort of insecure or like they have to change themselves for others, they can just realize that's not necessary. And if people don't like you for that, then they're not the right people to hang out with anyway. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it also just means I just love being an idiot as well. So I mean, I just have fun being stupid, and all my mates are the same. So it's definitely a
Yeah.
lot more fun as well, and you feel more happy. You don't have to fake anything; just be yourself.
Would you ever go on a reality show?
That's a good question. Potentially, I don't think I would go on a dating show.
Oh, why?
I don't. I don't know. I feel like it's just a private part of my life, dating and all that sort of thing. I don't know if I'd want to display it to the world online. I'm not sure. I would have to see. It would have to depend on what the show is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I couldn't see myself going on Love Island, to be honest. But I don't know. I've been asked to go on like a couple of them, but at this point, I've just said no to them.
To Love Island?
Yeah, I haven't been asked by Love Island, but like Married at First Sight asked me, and
Oh, yeah.
which I thought was so funny. I'm like, do you know how old I am? I'm not trying to get married right now, but but yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a funny world. I'd consider it, but
Okay.
right now I'm chilling. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, you seem like talking about relationships, you seem like such a fun guy and you'd probably make a really fun boyfriend. I'm
Yeah,
wondering if you could describe, what your perfect partner would be like.
that's a good question. Yeah, I definitely want them to be willing to have fun, just not worry so much about it. Just be an idiot. I think it's important that like, I'm an idiot all the time. They need to A, be able to put up with my idiocy, and then they also need to be just happy to be stupid themselves, just have a laugh, don't take things too seriously. Yeah, yeah, for sure, to be honest. I've been single now for a year and a half, a bit more. But I think, yeah, if they can just have fun, that's the most important. Have fun, be happy just being themselves. It's just makes things so much more fun and less stressful. But yeah, obviously the normal things, loyal and trusting, etc. But yeah, just the biggest thing is that they're happy to be an idiot. Then they'll get on with me. Well, I think.
Do you get a lot of DMs with people propositioning you to date?
I do nowadays. Yes, it's quite weird, very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite funny. Online, I don't really like. I'm not. My profile isn't one of those thirst traps. You try to look all good and sexy sort of vibes. So I think it's
There's
funny that
some
people.
thirst traps. There's
There are
some.
some, but they're ironic. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's pretty funny though. Yeah.
What would you say would give you the ick?
Oh, dropping something, picking it up off the ground. No, I'm joking. Give me the ick. Maybe someone that just there's a lot of people that we sort of talked about it briefly before. People who think just try to be too cool and can't just like relax and have fun. So then they sort of judge you if anyone that has fun. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just chill out, all right? Like let's just have fun, just relax, just dance a bit. Like shake your ass, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's it. If people take themselves too seriously, that's definitely Nick.
I'd love to know your celebrity crush, and if you could list a female celebrity and a male celebrity.
Okay, it's a good question. Female celebrity. I'll go my male celebrity first.
Okay.
Um, Harry Styles would be.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily listen to like heaps of his music, but I just love his vibe. I think I just quite like his vibe and what he stands for, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, Female celebrity crush. Oh, it's a good one. I just watched Barbie, so Margot Robbie's the first one pop into my mind.
Okay.
Um, let's go for someone a bit newer. Oh, the chick from Outer Banks, the main girl. Do you know what her name is?
No, Outer Banks.
Yeah, some people would like I just remember people would like copy her or something like tie their lip up or something because that's the way lips are, I think. I can't remember her name. She's the main girl from Outer Banks.
Madeline Klein. Is that who
Yes,
it is? Or
maybe.
there's
I think.
Madison Bailey as well. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Wait, let me double check.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Double check.
What was it? Madison Klein?
Yeah. Or Madeline Klein.
Yeah, Madeline Klein. Yeah, I'll say her. I'll say her. I don't know if I have a real celebrity crush, but I can say her. I think she's very attractive.
Okay. Hey, you never know. Maybe she's watching.
Maybe, maybe.
So we got to talk about the shoulder injury dance and
Yes.
how did that come about?
Um, so it started. I'm trying to think when it started. A year, maybe I reckon a year and a half ago, maybe. And it initially started as something I'd use to try to like pick up girls in a club or like try to talk to them as my
Oh,
icebreaker. So I'd be kind of like I'd say as a joke, if we're on the dance floor, I'd be like, "Yeah, I got no control of my shoulders." I'd say something along those lines, just as a joke. And
yeah.
then I remember when I was performing the song around different clubs and festivals or whatever. And as I was singing the song, I would sort of do like a slow version. I'd be like after it, and I'd sort of be going like this, doing like a slow thing. And then it didn't really start to like kind of speed up until late last year, I think. And then I remember it was in March. I was in Prague with some of my mates, and I was catching up with some American girls that we were friends with from exchange. And I was talking to them, and then as I went to say the thing about not being able to control my shoulders, I just randomly said that I injured myself. I was like, yeah, I injured myself, so I just got no like, and then since then this just sort of happens. And then it was like maybe a couple weeks later, I thought, oh, I'll try to make that. It could be a funny thing online. And I remember I made a video about it and it got like no views. It just sort of flopped. And yeah, and then it was a couple weeks later that I just sort of included it as a little clip, I think, on one of my the little clip videos where I say a few jokes and have a little bit of dancing there. And then that video did well, and I just started including it in lots of the clips, and each time saying shoulder injury or something along those lines, and then just sort of took off from there, really.
Do you find that now you're gonna have to find a new pickup line because everyone knows it now?
Yeah, I think it's made the because I used to literally just always do that when I was dancing and stuff. It's just like my go-to move. But then now it feels a little funny because I feel like people think I'm just like kind of doing it like for I don't know. It doesn't seem as natural to do now because it seems like I'm just doing it for TikTok or something. So it is pretty funny. People always come to me and be like, shoulder guy," which is just so funny.
Do you think that you can
Yeah,
give us a bit of a tutorial of the shoulder injury?
yeah. Can okay. So I think this is what people do wrong. A lot of people so because they go so slow. It's because so they're going like
Go
up,
down.
down,
Okay.
around, up,
Yeah.
down, like
Yeah.
that. But then they'll sort of keep doing this big up, down movement. But if you do more of like a up and then like a little shake there, and then up, and then you can go a little bit faster,
Yeah.
which I think is like the main thing people struggle with the speed. But it's just do like a little, just like a uh, and then little side to side, little cheeky smile.
The eyebrows are key there, right? The
I
eyebrows
know
and the
they
look.
are. I know. I don't even have control of the eye. It just sort of it's sort of this. I don't
Oh, and the
know.
tongue.
Tongue seems to come out as well. Just everything starts moving.
So I want to know, is there something that no one knows about you?
Hmm. Good question. I'm not sure. I definitely put a lot of myself online. I don't have many secrets. Oh, actually, I got a good one. I got a good one. So I sleepwalk a lot.
Oh,
And yeah, so I do a lot of weird stuff when I'm sleeping. But the thing is I've never done it when I've been with another person. If I'm with other people, I've never slept walked. I don't just maybe my
yeah.
brain knows to not be a fucking weirdo. I don't know. But I have this recurring dream that someone's getting squashed between the bed and the wall.
Oh,
So yeah, so what will happen is I jump out of my bed and I drag my bed across the bedroom floor. And then I'm like so stressed, I'll get my phone out, put the flashlight on, like look under the bed to see if they're alive. And
wow.
then I'll sort of wake up all disorientated, my heart's just like beating. And I'm just like, well, fuck, what just happened? It's always just it's just the worst. Yeah, but it always happens in the first 2 hours of when I go to sleep. And if I've drunk a little water, because I need to pee or something, and I'll be in a semi-light sleep. But yeah, it was so funny though because I was with my mate. We are in a camper van and we're driving along the French from south of France to north or north to south, and there's two levels to the camper van. I was on the bottom, he was on the top, and I had a dream that I was about to be squashed by a roller coaster, and because the roof was pretty low down to my face, and then I was like smashing on the roof, like don't come down, don't come down, and then my friend Connor, he was up there and he was like asleep and disorientated as well, and he was like he couldn't remember my name because he was still half asleep, and he was trying to call out to say Ollie, like it's fine. You're dreaming or something. And he was just like he couldn't remember my name. He's like, it's Connor. Like, are you okay or something? Anyways, yeah. I do some weird stuff when I'm sleeping.
That's wild. I mean, it's interesting because it's like you're trying to save someone though. You're not trying to hurt anyone. You're just trying to save
So
them, right?
yeah, that'd be bad if I started stabbing. If I started stabbing something while I was asleep. Yeah.
Like at least you're like, in this hero complex while you're
Yeah.
sleepwalking. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty wild. I've never heard that before. Do you sleep talk as well?
Yeah, I sleep talk. I think I sleep talk most nights. I think so. Um, but I think it's usually just gibberish, just me mumbling or something. Like one of the nights as well, I just remembered when I was in the camper van,
Yeah.
I just started like giggling in my sleep,
Yeah.
and me and my mate Connor, we had three of us in the camper van. Connor was next to me, and I don't know what I don't remember it at all, but I was just started like literally just giggling hysterically, and then I just say to Connor, "Take my hand" or something, and then I take my hand and let's run like we're in like a field or something. Apparently, I can't remember
Yeah.
exactly. And then Connor wasn't sure what to do, and he sort of just like grabbed my hand, and then I started laughing again, and I went back to sleep. Um, just so funny. I just don't remember it, which is annoying. But
What would you say is the biggest misconception about you?
yeah. Um, maybe that 100% of the time I'm just like overly energetic and overly happy and that sort of thing. I mean, like obviously everyone has down periods and
Yeah.
gets tired, especially like right now. My immune system isn't even like 100% since
Mm,
I was sick like a year and a half ago. So I've only just gotten back into training. I'm still sort of easing back into it. Um, and actually, no, okay, I know what these going off this. People think I drink all the time. I actually posted a video on this yesterday. People think I'm drunk all the time because I'm always out and I always go to clubs and etc. And my mates will drink, but I don't drink ever. And
oh,
yeah, since I got sick, my body doesn't really handle it, so I just stopped. I kept trying to drink, and I never drunk much. I always liked going out sober every now and then as well. But I would want to drink and join in every now and then, but I kept getting sick, and then now I don't drink at all. So it is funny.
wow.
People just think I'm drunk, especially because I just dance a lot. Right? I love dancing.
Yeah.
So I always dancing like crazy, and people are like, "Wow, he's so drunk." People have said that before, and it's like, man, I'm completely sober of it.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that about you. And it's interesting. I've interviewed other people that have said something similar where, people may think that they drink all the time because of their energy. Maybe it's on stage or like with you, it's with the dancing. And I
Mm.
don't know. It seems like on a side note, it seems like there's a shift towards, especially the younger generation, not being as into going out and getting drunk or having drinks. It's really interesting to me.
Yeah, well, I think it is sad when people feel like they need to drink to be able to
Yeah.
socialize or to be able to have fun.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely fair play, if you want to drink, but you should be able to know that if you were sober, you could still go and have fun and be social
Exactly.
and be confident in those settings. Because you feel better about yourself if I know I can go out there, I can still have fun, still be the life of the party,
Yeah.
without alcohol.
I mean, it must be nice too to remember remember the night. That's
Exactly.
key.
I remember everything. All these drunk people, I will remember.
My final question, which I'm sad that we've gone on the final question because this has been so fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
me too.
but I ask all my guests this, and that's if you were to have an autobiography or a movie made about your life, what would be the title?
Oh, that's a good question. Just a side note off that. I love pretending when I'm just like by myself doing things. I love pretending like I'm being like a movie's being made about me or
Yeah.
something. Like in the office when Jim or they always like kind of look at the camera.
Yeah.
I love just doing that and pretending like people are looking back at what I was like before
Yeah,
before I was
yeah.
so that ah, what would it be called? It would be called the word chaos, I think, may need to be part of it. So, and in chaos we live, or in all seriousness, something along those lines. I
Yeah.
think just
Yeah.
I'm very chaotic with everything I do. So I think in chaos we live a lot. Yeah, something like that.
I love that. I mean, it can be chaotic, but it's also such great content. Something about
Mm.
chaotic content. Well, thanks so much for opening up and sharing more about your life and your content and your dance moves and dad jokes. And it's been really great getting to know you a little bit better, Ollie. So thanks again for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was fun to talk a little bit.